Hello and welcome to Law and Order SVU here on FANVERSATION. I am Yael Tygiel. I am joined by Taylor Gates. Hello, Taylor.
Hello.
Hi. Felicia couldn't be with us today, but we are talking season 22. Nope, 23. Wow. Season 23, episode 14. Video killed the radio star.
Video kill the radio star.
Okay, enough
Got
of
a little
that so we don't get
concert.
in trouble. I appreciate you
Sorry.
singing that. I just was like, shit, we're gonna get flagged.
No. I
Okay.
didn't sing it very well, so honestly, plausible deniability, that wasn't even the right tune. Okay.
It was 100% accurate. It's perfect. Welcome to the show. Before we jump in, consider this your trigger warning.
Oh,
Um,
stop.
if you need help, please reach out to RAINN. Their number is 1-800-656-4673. 1-800-656-4673. Taylor,
It spells hope.
it
It
does
spells
spell.
hope. I'm saying it before you can.
I was asking you what it spelled.
Well, I was worried you weren't going to ask and you were just going to tell. And
I
that's my
know.
job, okay? I have two jobs. I have telling everyone it spells hope, and I have the poll. And that's it. And you take one of them away. It's what am I good for, you know?
Oh my God, you're making my face hurt. That's so funny. All right. So, yes, if you need that, please reach out to RAINN. I also want to consider this your content warning, trigger warning, however you'd like to be warned. Sometimes this show goes really dark and does deal with serious issues. And when that happens, we don't. So we don't go dark. We don't talk about serious. That's not true. We do sometimes. Whatever the point is, we make jokes and you've been warned. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the
This
point.
episode in particular.
Look, this episode was hilarious.
This episode was
Taylor,
insane.
let me read the quick app and then tell me how you
Sure.
felt.
Sure.
Benson investigates allegations against a popular radio personality. Rollins goes undercover when a shocking confession leads to another crime. Taylor, what did you think of this episode?
I mean, obsessed. Like, we have Rollins undercover, which I'm always here for. We have an ending that's just like right in your face, which I'm always here for. Which I mentioned actually last week. I'm like, maybe that's why they didn't do it last week, where the kid, like the adopted kid, didn't kill her birth father, because that would have just been two in a row. That would have been too much. I genuinely thought about that. I was like, oh, okay, we had it in this episode. Great. We had a quick ride. I mean, hello. We had so many, like, I feel like this was probably like a Joe Rogan satire is my guess. We also had the last name Weinstock, which I was like, all right, that's okay. Like, they just really put their whole heart and soul into this, and I respected that. Did I get a little lost? I did. A little lost in the plot at times, but overall, I was here for the entire quick ride. Let's just put it that way.
I was so happy for you. I enjoyed this episode a lot. I'm going to tell you, I agree. I think there were parts where I got very confused,
I was like,
but
huh?
especially at the beginning when I went, which one's Bob and which one's Mitch? But also, upon rewatch, there are parts where I zoned out and I went, oh, if you just ignore all of this, you follow the plot very easily.
Sure.
It's very simple. There are parts where they're like, let's get confusing for a second.
Yeah, they convolute it. And I'm like, for what? Like, make it simple, please. Like, I don't know.
It's
but
fine.
whatever. It's still a good time regardless.
Before we get into the main story, I want to talk about something that I saw some people discussing on Twitter, and I did notice it in the first scene as well. Are we now trying, and people who are live in our chat, I see you, I see that you're here, let us know what your thoughts are. Are we trying now to ship Benson and Langan? Is this a ship we're doing?
Here's the thing, and I don't remember who said it on Twitter, so I apologize that I can't like give you credit for this, but it's the thought that I lined up with, so I'm gonna like echo the statement. I feel like this wasn't that deep. Like, I feel like this was just like, okay, let's bring him in. It's an adoption event. Obviously, we know that Peter Herman and Mariska Hargitay are married in real life. They've adopted children. I feel like it was just a fun little like thing. They wanted to bring him in for this because it was like special and cute and like kind of, you know what I mean, like reflecting.
And he did
like,
help her adopt Noah. He was
exactly. Exactly. So I'm like, okay, maybe that was just like a fun little thing that they added in for like people who know in real life that they're married. Like I didn't read so much into it. I just didn't, because like, and maybe that's the thing too, is like I go to events with people as their dates all the time, like, and obviously we're not like trying to date, like it's more of just like a +1 friends thing. So I didn't read so much into it, but I could understand why people would too. So I don't know. What about you? What did you think?
I definitely. I mean, here the more I think about it, you're right that it is very possible that it was not supposed to be, that they just are colleagues and whatever. But because there is like such chemistry between the two of them, it definitely felt like a date, and that 100% could just be because they are married. Like it could just be that. Um, and but that said, it does remind me of the way that they planted the seeds when she started dating Tucker. Like it really felt like it was these very tiny scenes, and the interaction when they were chatting and Bob starts hitting on her super grossly.
Yeah.
It it felt like they it felt like maybe they were there on like a as a date. But I don't know. Sarah in the chat, hello Sarah, says, I agree with that. I think it's just cute. The just a cute little tease of sorts, not meant to be a full-on ship. Um, that's fair. I think that's totally fair and reasonable. And I would love to hear from the writers. I would love to them to be like, no, like we're not making that a ship.
I
Because
mean, do I
it could
hate
be.
it? No. Like I don't hate the ship. Obviously, you know I'm an EO person. Hate me for that, love me for that, who cares? But I mean, I'm open to others. Like I would not, it would not be my least favorite ship. Like I'll put it that way.
Zach in the chat says, to me, I thought it was something being that he did play a big role in helping her adopt. No, I personally didn't see anything out of it, but if it does, I ain't mad about it. That's
Yeah.
true. Absolutely. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows if that's where it's supposed to go? It's interesting.
Yeah.
And you being an EO shipper, like everyone knows where I stand. Cassidy is her OTP. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like I'm open to whatever. Like obviously that's what I'm rooting for, but like I said, I don't hate it by any means. Like I like David Hayden like back in the day. So whatever. Like I'm open to
no,
other.
no.
See, I did. I was here for it.
Well, let's talk about the main story of this episode. We have Bob the Bone Flynn. Um, I'm going to ask this. I asked it when I was
Sure.
watching this, and no one could answer because I was with my roommate. Here is my question. Was this character supposed to be drunk the entire episode?
It
Or,
certainly felt like it.
yeah, was this a choice of the actor to just sound drunk the whole time?
I kind of loved him. Like I hated him, obviously, but I'm like, this man is certifiably like insane. Like he's wild, and I love a character. Like he was in a different show, and I respected that. Like truly, I was like, this man is on a completely different plane than everyone else, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of making for some fun scenes.
He's so I've so he said some shit.
I have so many qualms.
Oh man, we'll get to that in a second. I have to give some shout outs to our actors. So first of all, Bob the Bone Flynn, who again may have been playing this character as drunk the entire episode, is played by Jake Weber. And then we have two repeat offenders. In fact, both Kaplans, both Mitch and Ellen are repeat offenders. So Jim True Frost played Mitch. He was previously in Decline and Fall in 2017 as Lawrence Hendricks Jr. and Hardwire as Thomas Banks. And Mrs. Ellen Kaplan was previously Dr. Sonata in 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So same character, 3 episodes across multiple seasons. That actress is Laura Kai Chen. And the episode she was previously in as Dr. Sonata was Contagious in 2005, Recall and Underbelly in 2006.
Nice. I do want to say I love that it was Jake Weber because I was a big fan of Medium with Bishop Charquette. And he was like so wholesome and kind in that show. Like I loved that man. And then he got to play something completely different in this episode. I was like, no, Joe, like, what are you doing?
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that because he did this so well that I was like, I never want to see this guy in anything.
No, this man was such a sweetheart in Medium, and
Oh.
he was not like this. I'll tell you that much right now.
He was not drunk the whole time.
He was not drunk. He was wholesome and supportive husband of Patricia Arquette. Which reminds me, if I'm bringing up Patricia Arquette, I'm gonna have to say it. Snubbed for Dreams Deferred as a guest star Emmys. Sorry, had to say it. Had to say my piece. Had to get that out there.
That's fine. We'll continue
Legally
to say
obligated.
this for years.
Legally obligated to say it. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, let's get into this episode. I'm just literally in my notes. There's so many lines that I have to move them to the line section so I don't say them too early.
Oh, mine is like half of my document is lines at the bottom. Yeah.
So he assaults Ellen. They're not really sure if they want to investigate. I'll say this. I read this really interesting, I think it's All Things Law and Order is the account. I read their recap because they were really upset about how this episode played out, in that they were saying that the SVU team messed up and that because of the ways that they messed up, someone got killed. And it's funny because I'm so used to the way we look at these things, which is, this is so funny. What a joke.
I mean, did I shed a single tear when this man died? Absolutely not.
But
I was cheering. Everyone was crying. Everyone was excited. I was like, hell yeah.
One of the things that was said on the All Things Law and Order website was that this moment when Ellen and Mitch Ellen doesn't want them to pursue the case and they choose to keep going, is kind of ignoring her wishes. And I think that's a really interesting point, because I mean, Mitch wanted them to keep pursuing, and I understand that he is not the victim, but I think it's interesting. It is interesting.
No, that is actually fair. I kind of had the same bit of a weird feeling because Mitch felt really controlling a little bit, just like, and yeah, he was a little sketch. Like I was like wondering if there was like something going on with him just because of how like aggressive he sort of was. So I actually do agree with that made me a little uncomfy too. I don't know what the right answer is. Like obviously listen to the victim probably, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it was wrong for them to like try to get her back in and like talk to her and convince her of more. Sure. I think that's like certainly fair, but yeah, it was a little like I don't know what the right word is, but maybe uncomfortable when it was like him who was like trying really hard and she was like not so into it.
I mean, I almost wish that they had been like, look, we're going to investigate because, it's as we've heard, it's possibly not the first time. Yeah. And so like have her agree that it's okay for them to keep investigating because it might be a pattern. But I think also you're right that like she said, when Mitch's mom was attacked, like he drove around with a baseball bat, was it? So like, sounds like she's kind of afraid of her husband.
I mean, I was, yeah. I was like surprised that didn't. I mean, it went somewhere obviously, but like not in terms of like his relationship with Ellen, I guess.
Or that they protected her, like they didn't protect her.
Right.
I guess they didn't even ask if she felt safe going home with him.
Right, which I would be asking that because he was a lot.
Yeah. So Rollins suggests going undercover. Which we all love, and Carisi is asked to help out. And I know that KM in the chat says Benson and Carisi undercover for literally no reason.
I loved it. She knew exactly how to like. She's having fun with it. She knows now. She's like, okay.
KM says you are together, so you might as well play together. Look, I think that it made the most sense. I think that we have seen Rollins and Finn play a couple, and I really love when they're a couple.
We've seen Olivia and Rollins play a couple as well, which I'll talk about when we talk about our pool besties.
That is true. So I think it's interesting that the choice was Carisi, but I also think that that's a fun. I thought it was fun. I thought it was cute. He was a cop, remember? Like he was part of the team before.
It's just so funny too, because Olivia did it just to make him squirm a little bit, because she knows now. She learned at the end of last episode that like
everybody knows.
Right. But that's why it's so funny. She's just messing with him a little too, I think, which is funny. I love it.
Well, of course, Rollins goes off script. What a surprise! I was surprised at the off script she chose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. I was like, we're okay, but I mean, it ended up working, but risky
again,
for sure.
It made it so confusing.
Yeah, it really did.
Because I'm trying to think. All right, let's say her cover is it, right? So she was hired by Mitch to go undercover to what? Like, what was Mitch? But how does that help Mitch? Like, if Mitch thinks that Bob hurt his wife, how does sending a rando woman undercover to like also be assaulted help his wife?
Yeah, I don't know. The private event, like maybe find dirt on him, I guess.
I just don't know. If I were Bob, and I'll say this, there's a line later, this is not one of my lines, but there's a line later that is sooner or later the guy's gonna connect the dots. And the response is, but he hasn't yet. And I genuinely, every time something happened, I went, how has he not put this together?
Right. Yeah. I was confused. Like, I'll be honest. Like, we got there at the end that I understood it all. But in the middle, I was like, okay, sure, I trust it. They're blackmailing people. I don't know. Okay.
Sure.
Cool. Sure.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, he says he killed somebody. And that takes us in a whole new direction. And I thought that was very interesting. I liked that.
Too.
It was a good,
too.
fun
I was sitting on my
surprise.
couch. I was like, all right, well, okay. I didn't see it coming. I'll tell you that much. I didn't see it coming.
I agree. I thought this was going to go, I mean, especially based on the way the promos looked, I thought this was going to go in a different way where Rollins crosses a line. Like I thought we were going to end up with a place where something else goes wrong. She's in danger, specifically because the next scene that we have, right, when Benson and Rollins are talking, which I loved because we've talked a lot about how she is just like Benson was, right? Like she does not care about doing things the right way. She will do it. She wants to do her undercover her way. So I do appreciate this conversation where Benson is like, I trust you, but we both know that you like to throw caution to the wind. And now things are going well. And it's very interesting to have this discussion about how she sabotages herself sometimes. I really appreciated that whole scene.
Same. And especially the fact where she's like, honestly, a couple of years ago, I'd probably like tell you to get lost, like tell you like, but she realizes, she's like, I hear you. I'm actually like listening to you. I thought that was very much a great moment of like character growth while still staying true to like her character and the flaws and like issues she still has. I thought that was really cool how we got that sort of middle ground of her still like doing stuff she's not supposed to be doing, but also being like, I hear you. I don't exactly know how to fix this yet, but I am like listening and processing, which I thought was really, really good. I loved that scene too.
Yeah. As we know, usually heart to heart scenes, I'm like, move on. But I really enjoyed that one. I would love it for Benson to like acknowledge that she was that reckless sometimes.
Sure.
That like she and Cragen, I don't know. I just would like to see a little acknowledgement of it.
Right. Like, this was you, bitch, a couple years ago. Like,
right. Like, it must be hard dealing with her because you did that.
That's why I miss Kat so much, too, because Kat was literally mini Olivia. Whatever. We're not going to go there, but I do really miss that because she was, like, even more than Rollins was. Like, it's so clear.
Yes.
What we could have had.
So Bob decides to hire Amanda as a double agent. I do appreciate that she's like double agent, triple pay. I love that. Yes, women, we need to ask for our money.
A girl boss move.
I'm taking this moment to get on a soapbox. Know your worth and ask for it. Do not be afraid and negotiate. Ask for more than you believe you're worth because they are going to argue you down.
Double agent, triple pay, baby. Let's go.
That's a shirt. That's a shirt.
Hey.
Hold
Double
on.
agent, triple pay.
I knew that a shirt or two was coming out of this episode.
Yeah.
But there are a lot that I think are so funny, but really without context are awful.
Here's the thing, double agent, triple pay is kind of like what we were talking last week. I have more money than time.
Yes.
Kind of the same vibes. But double agent, triple pay is more snappy.
I like it much better.
Yeah.
All right. So I do look, as much as I hate Bob, and I hate Bob. His come on lines were so silly.
He was hilarious. Like, I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
I hated him and he's gross. And I imagine that no one has ever slept with that man willingly. And but I did enjoy, I mean, as much as I hated that everyone had to keep being like, stop, I did enjoy what he was saying, which was stupid.
He was, because like he made it spicy. Like he didn't just have the same old lines. Yeah. Like at least he was. If you're gonna be creepy, you should be at least a creative creep, and at least he was that.
Yeah, he found. I think if I can pinpoint what it is that I like, is I have a similar skill in being able to find the dirty in anything.
Sure.
And so I think that's what I like, that anything you said, he found an opening. He
was like, stop.
You don't have to do it. I just like that he has the skill set.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think back in the day, it was a game we used to play on the Grimm after show where Zach Wilson was like, Yael, go ahead.
Obsessed.
Later, we get a reveal that and this is, I think, something everyone hopefully noted, that Bob and Ken and Lola are all graduates of Hudson Law.
Shocker.
That should have been the red flag from the top.
If you went to Hudson, I'm immediately clocking you for a suspect. Like, it's just true.
Oh, Hudson.
Hudson you.
Oh, man. All right. So then we get to this part that was very confusing about Ken and Lola's con.
Uh-huh.
So I had a couple thoughts. First of all, it's that I hope that one day, if I find a partner, we're in such sync that we could run a con like this.
Yeah, totally.
Like usually what ends up happening is you run a partnership that runs a con, somebody always screws over the other person. So I really like that there was this married couple that ran a con together and like didn't screw each other over.
Relationship goals, if I say so myself.
Right? Okay, so let's see if I understood this con correctly.
Sure.
And you tell me where you got lost.
Oh, I won't be able to tell you yes or no. So whatever you say, I'm gonna be like, yeah.
All right, so audience, it's you. So the scam was that she would sleep with married men and then he would blackmail them. And the way that the blackmail worked was they would donate to the charity that they were running. I think that's the part where it got confusing.
Right. What, like, if you're already black, like, why the charity? Like, why even have the front of the charity? Like, genuinely. At that point, I mean, honestly, here's the thing. I wish it was really a charity because that would make it so much more interesting. Like, if they were so passionate about, like, animals or something that they were like, donate to this charity or you're dead. Like, you're done. We're releasing all of your info. Like, that would be so funny. Like, if they were honestly just, like, so charitable, passionate about something. Like, what about the RAINN Hotline? Like, RAINN Hotline. Everyone has to donate that. Like, that would be so much better than having, like, an offshore account. And so I hope in the future they do something like that. I think that would be hilarious. Like they're Robin Hoods a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you. So then the issue was they were blackmailing Bob because Lola and Bob slept together. And so then Bob may or may not have killed Ken. Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry, my chair is making all the sounds. Okay. I mean, I don't know that Bob, I know that he was married at the time, but I feel like if his wife was like, hey, Bob cheated on you, she'd be like, no, duh.
Yeah. There's no, that just, if you marry that man, you know that what you're
Right.
in for. Like, you have to.
Yeah, 100%. So then Lola calls Bob to blackmail him for the murder of her husband because the cops came to her. Yep.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. Sure.
So the fact that at that moment when Amanda is with him and he's like, who did you talk to? That was the moment when I went, how is he not putting this together? Like that was the moment he should have put it all together. But instead, he decides that they should hire a hitman to kill Lola.
Sure.
But
Why not?
you killed Ken. Why can't anyway?
Right. Okay.
So Velasco goes undercover. He needs to hire a hitman. I've done this before. And then Finn says, you've killed somebody? I was like, what a weird sentence.
Why would you assume that? Like, you know that he's worked in this before. Like,
yeah.
Finn, let's come on now.
Yeah.
Although I could see him killing someone before, absolutely, actually.
Sure. Especially for McGrath.
Yeah.
Sarah says, I feel you guys on this. The overall motive of the murder crime plot was a bit convoluted. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So then he goes and he decides he's gonna kill her. I want to talk about the scene in the car.
Yes.
He says, and this is not one of my lines because it's not a best line, it's a confusing line. Lola, she's like family to me. I want her taken care of. Those seem contradictory.
I think it was like, I'm so close to her, you better get it done on the first shot, or else she's gonna screw me over, is how I interpret it. But I did like that they were talking in code. I thought that was fun. I was like, ooh, it's a little secret language.
I agree. I think the code was very clever, and the way that it worked was really good. I felt like Rollins was instigating too much, and that was going to be the issue. When she was like, so you'll pick them up and drop them off, I was like, Rollins, you stop talking.
Right. Yeah. Because it was like the entrapment, like they were kind of talking about, which fair enough. But
so then Carisi's like, they were speaking code, so we're gonna have a problem. So then Lola fakes her death, I guess.
I loved that. The scene with her in the interrogation room was actually really funny, I thought.
Honestly, I love this actress. Diane Farr, she's so good. I was positive she's been in an episode before, and she has not. And I can't believe
Interesting.
That.
I know, she looks so familiar to me.
Because she's been in so much. So I would love to see her again as a different character. She's a wonderful actress.
She's great.
So they go to prove that they did the job, and he pulls a gun on them. I was positive that he was an informant before he pulled the gun. I was like, oh, the twist is going to be that he's an informant, because when he's standing there and he has the proof, he's like, what is your cut, Amanda? And how many times have you guys done this before? You seem really tight. I was like, twist, he's an informant.
That would have been interesting.
I thought he was wearing a wire, but no, he pulled the gun.
He sure did. I loved that scene so much. It was like tense, but then also I love it when they like arrest their own people. I always find that so funny because they have to like act like it's so serious so they don't like blow the cover. And I just always think those are some of the funniest scenes. it's fake too. No, it's not. Like when she has her gun, no, it's not. Like I thought Olivia arresting Rollins was hilarious. I loved the whole thing.
That whole thing at the waterfront was fantastic.
Yeah.
Literally, when Bob was like hitting on Amanda, and Velasco was like,
Time to leave.
I want to get out of here. Cause like, yeah, it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah. I was like worried that, I mean, I thought he was going to look at his phone and find something. I also worried when he had the gun to his chest, he was going to feel like a bulletproof vest too. And like, no. And because then like you're still screwed because you just like shoot him in the head. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like worried that was going to give him away, but you know, I guess we got there in time. And it was a rubber gun, I guess.
Did you think Velasco was going to die?
No, he's just became a series regular. There's no way they're going to kill him off this way.
Were you hoping that Velasco died?
I mean, here's the thing. I kind of didn't hate him in this episode. Like, just let him be a quick ride driver and just do this same thing, and then he's cool. Like, it's fun. Like, here's the thing. If I'm like out of 3, I like you like 3 out of 10. If you're Undercover, you're probably going to go up to at least like a 6 because I just love Undercover themes so much.
That's true. I did really enjoy him in this episode. This felt like we were in his wheelhouse.
Totally.
So that was nice. I thought he was going to get shot, and I was like, cool.
I mean, I figured he could get shot somewhere that like wasn't lethal, like he would just get injured. But
I will also say, we talked about, you're talking about how we have to arrest our own team. I was surprised that he didn't run, like just because that felt like in character for who he was undercover. From a logistics standpoint, I understand that they were shooting in this one section and that they couldn't.
Sure,
it's a physical challenge, but I was surprised that he didn't run.
Yeah,
that's all. It just occurred. I was like, why is he just standing?
Why is he straight up like going along with this? Yeah.
All right, so Bob gets released. He gets released and goes on the internet to plead his case, which kind of reminded me of 25 Acts. We have lots of cases where high-profile people decide to take the case to their own shows, which is smart.
The way that he starts talking shit about Rollins, though, I was like, whoa, because we kind of foreshadowed that, like with what was her name, Ellen. Was like, no, it's not worth it. He's gonna just like ruin my entire reputation. And then he did it to Rollins. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, Benson wants to turn it off, and I love that Rollins was like, I want to see where this is going.
Yeah, keep it on. I was like, she's a legend.
And then, of course, Mitch, the king of sleep apnea home products, comes in and has the best last line ever. Consider this your trigger warning. Ooh.
No, and then that's from me. This one's from Ellen. I loved it. No, I love that extra little.
Yeah.
No, not just once. We're bringing you twice. Like,
of course, it's 2 times. What's he say every time he shoots a person?
Oh, here I have it. 2 shots center mass.
That's it. Yeah, he's got to do it.
So great.
All right, let's move on to best lines because I know we have so many.
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay, so here are my favorite lines. The hottest sex you could have is with a widow of a man you just killed.
This is so bad, but I had watched West Side Story the night before, and I was like, honestly, pretty similar. Like, honestly, Maria can relate.
So funny.
I was just like, I mean, it's not exactly the same, but pretty much the same. Like,
I will say this. He said it, and I literally went, disagree. Disagree. There's definitely hotter sex you could have.
It seems rather specific, but okay.
Right. I've never been Glock blocked before. Genius. That line is genius. You listen to my radio show? Not on purpose.
Not on purpose. Yep.
And the line that killed me because I went, why is this in this episode? Auto spelled backwards spells
It's-
auto. I like
palindromes. Yep, I had that one as well. Yeah, I was like, who is this? Like,
Also,
is she all right? Like,
give me a better palindrome. Like, what?
sure.
Taco Cat. That's a good one.
Yeah, auto. Yeah, it is, but it's also 4 letters. Calm down. Yeah.
Zach in the chat says the Glock block line is my favorite. Look, if I didn't hate guns, I would make a shirt that says I've never been Glock blocked before.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because that one is so funny. All right,
Yeah.
Taylor, take it
All right.
away.
You took a couple of mine, but that's all right. I still have plenty left. At the beginning, Olivia shut him down so fast. Sweetheart, you're one of those guys. I was like, whew, I love it. I love it when she does that. Mitch is right outside where he belongs. I was like, dude.
Yes.
What? Like, he was unhinged from the get-go.
Yeah.
This was like a moment of like being uncomfy when Mitch was just like very like adamant that he walks into the place. Bone Flynn groped my wife. I want him arrested. I was just like, dude, there's so many steps between that. Like, let's settle down for 1 second. The conversation between Olivia and Amanda. I do trust you, but I also know you.
Yes.
I thought that was so funny. I do, but I also know you. I thought that was great. My very favorite one, if you follow me on Twitter, you've already seen. Amanda whips out her gun. 2 shots in her mask. She just goes, that's hot. It's like relatable content, unfortunately. ADAs are never happy. Yeah, because we have to convince juries to believe people like you.
Yeah.
And finally, I just love Carisi just blatantly talking shit. Well, Lola's gonna make a terrible witness. Like, Carisi, you can't be saying that. Like, you have to at least pretend like it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Lola's gonna make a terrible witness. True. I will say That's Hot is still by far my favorite of them. Wonderful. Absolutely genius.
Yeah. Amazing. Such good. This episode was full of lines. It really was. All right. So we have some news to share about the show. SVU show news. So first of all, if you missed it, there was the Dun Dun fan event, which was yesterday. Nope, Thursday. Today is not Friday. It was on Thursday. And it was supposed to be the week before in honor of the premiere of the Mothership return. But they pushed it a week. So it was this week on Thursday. I'm going to actually put it in the chat for anyone who missed it. Here we go. It's on YouTube. You can check that out. Hopefully that works as a link, and if not, I will put it in the description for this episode so you can check it out there. It's a 1-hour behind the scenes interviews with different cast members from Mothership, SVU, and Organized Crime. There are some cute moments. There's also some boring moments, but you can check it out.
Valid.
Yeah. Skim through it. It's really fun. And it's an exciting way to remind us that the Mothership is back. Yes. Also, this episode, if you didn't notice at the end, was dedicated to Ned Eisenberg, who was a cast member. We've seen him on multiple shows. He was lawyer Kessler. So such a bummer.
Yeah, I was so sad. My friend sent it to me and was like, did you see? I was like, I did. Very sad.
Really sad news, but yeah, he also if you want to see I want to say one of his last performances, if not his last, I don't actually know, on Mrs. Maisel season 4. He was in that, so I was like, oh, there he is. That's so sad.
That's really sad.
In other news, as we know, I am watching Organized Crime so that none of you have to. And here is what I know. There was a name drop of Captain Benson in the latest episode. Dennis Leary's character arrives. I don't know anything about who his character is, but he arrives and he tells Stabler that he just spoke with Captain Benson. I literally went, has anyone told her?
Yeah. Okay.
But it seems that Benson is going to be appearing in the next episode of Organized Crime. So I will watch that and report back on what is actually relevant to us, if at all.
All right.
Likely not. Does this mean Dennis Leary will appear on SVU? I hope so. That's all I can hope for. But yes, that's those are all the things I need to tell you. It's time for the weekly poll.
Yeah, it is. All right. So last week we asked you guys what your favorite Lisa Joyce episode was because she played one of the main characters and she was wonderful. In last place, sadly, was the one we discussed last week, If I Knew Then What I Knew Now, which is a bummer. I thought that was a good episode. That got 20% of the vote, with 30% of the vote missing pieces. That's Baby in a Cooler. Season 13, episode 5, that got 30%. And coming in first place with 50% of the vote is Avatar season 9, episode 2, Turn Up the Sun. It's a great episode, so that's fair enough. She really doesn't miss with the episode she guest stars in. So all of those are great ones. This week we're asking you guys what your favorite Rollins Undercover episode is.
I feel like we've done this poll, and I'm not saying we shouldn't do it again, but I'm just saying I feel like we have.
We probably have. Oh well.
Okay.
We're doing it again. If we have, it's been like years ago, so we can recycle whatever.
No, that's fine.
SVU recycles plots sometimes. We can recycle plots sometimes.
That's good.
Sorry. We have Father Dearest, season 13, episode 20. I love this one. This is the one where the guy like has like 8,000 kids and like wants the kids like be with him. But this is the one where Olivia and Amanda go undercover together to go get sperm donor, whatever.
Yeah.
It's great. I'm a lesbian, so I liked it personally.
What? I couldn't put that together.
What? We also have, although this one is like the one I would vote for, Gambler's Fallacy, season 15, episode 17. I feel like I include this in like every poll, but it's just that good, so I don't have actually any regrets. She goes undercover. She's having her gambling issues. Sherry Song's there. Donna Logue is there. It's fantastic. We have Starstruck Victims, just season 17, episode 16. This, I don't remember so much about it, but I know she was absolutely batshit bonkers off the walls road.
Oh my God. This one is the one with, what's his name? Johnny D'Amico and his friend, I forget his name. And he's an actor for a bad Netflix series that doesn't actually exist. And he rapes the blogger or the vlogger, technically.
Yes.
And then Rollins goes undercover. It's a Dodds episode, and goes undercover and gets almost assaulted in the bathroom. And then Dodds releases the video of it. And Buchanan, as she's arresting D'Amico, Buchanan says, "Is this what new mothers are wearing these days?"
That's right. Yeah. That episode's bonkers.
It's such a good episode.
Yeah. I think this is a good poll, honestly. These have some good ones. And then, of course, that we just talked about, Video Killed the Radio Star, which, if you want to know the plot to that, go ahead and rewind to the beginning of this episode, because we just talked about
Did we really talk about the plot?
Well, still do it. Still rewind to the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, we'll tell you where to find that in just a bit. That's such a tough poll. All right, let's get into what did we learn?
God.
What did I learn? Auto spelled it backwards.
I knew you were going to say that.
Like, no, that's not it. That's not it. If you're in the chat, let us know what you learned.
I learned that I want an episode where someone blackmails someone to actually donate to a charity, because I think that would be hilarious. I also learned two-shot center mass. That's hot.
I learned that you find that attractive.
I mean, did you see what she looked like in that scene? Hello.
I learned that I really like the term Glock blocked.
Sure.
Yeah, I really would like, this is everything. I think I've learned that I liked like rewording cock block in different ways.
Yeah, okay.
I think I think it's fun. It's a fun thing people do. Is that
And
weird?
then there's rubber guns, I guess, too.
I mean, they're like used by movie and TV people.
But
They're
rubber is just like an odd choice to
it's
be.
like a heavy, it's not like light rubber that you might be thinking of. They're like really heavy and dense.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I've
Well,
held rubber guns before when visiting a set.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I learned that was a thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
If you're in the chat, let us know if you learned anything. Yeah. All right. In the meantime, while you think of what you've learned, let's talk about some announcements. For those who don't know, we are available to listen on iTunes. We are also available to watch on Spotify. So if you're on Spotify, you can see us or on YouTube for a lot of our episodes. And if you like our silly merch, such as our beautiful Noah Benson "Be True to Yourself" merch. I really like that stuff.
But also,
jeans. Yes, you can get Slim and Fairy jeans.
Your one-stop shop. Like
yeah.
whether you want something sincere or something ridiculous, come to us. You know, we got you covered.
And soon you're going to be able to get something that says double agent, triple pay. I don't know that that's gonna. I don't know if that's gonna sell, but we're gonna do it.
Fly off the shelves. Fly off the shelves.
Sarah in the chat says, all good lessons. I learned Olivia rarely brings donuts in the morning for everybody, but the squad seems to appreciate it. I mean, yeah, I would bet. I feel like the only one who ever usually brought food was Carisi.
Yeah, I would love that. That's
you want a donut?
Yeah, I do. Doesn't say who was? Wait a minute. I know there was a line in here where someone didn't like donuts, and Olivia said, "How can I trust you?" Who was that? Who didn't like donuts?
I want to guess Velasco, but I don't remember.
No, I feel like this was a long time ago. I'll Google it.
All right. I will say this: if you are listening to us on iTunes, please rate and review us. If you like us, you can give us 5 stars. If you don't like us, you can give us 4 stars. The other stars are broken. But if you give us 4 stars, please let us know what we did wrong, how we can improve, what you like better. Do you have the answer?
Yep, it's Amaro. She said it too. I was like, I know. Like I've heard that line. Like, and I guess she said it to Amaro. A cop who doesn't like donuts. He doesn't eat donuts. How can I trust you?
That's fair. I mean, how could you trust Amaro?
How could you trust him? Well, I actually kind of miss him. Remember when he came back for a second? That was fun.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, like he's not my fave, but I mean, I like him when he comes.
Yeah.
When he has his new look.
Not a fan of the new look.
Okay, well.
I may have been a fan. I don't remember what I said when he came back.
We contradict yourself.
It happens. Also, very big, important next week, based on the promo, Jason Biggs from Hate Crimes is appearing again. Genuinely don't understand why it would be Jason Biggs from Hate Crime and not Khaldun from Hate Crimes.
I was just gonna say that. Like, who was picking that?
Like, we just had Khaldun. Was it last week? The week before? He joined. He helped out. Like, why would we not have him again? Fine. Or why wouldn't we have Ruse? Like, what? You know?
Yeah. Why Jason Biggs? You know.
Whatever. And the question is for next week: have you? How come you never charge rape as a hate crime? And maybe it's time. So that's going to be the discussion. I'm very excited about that discussion.
Yeah.
As we know, I love when the episodes bring up interesting questions, not just wild rides with Glock blocking and such.
I mean, perhaps we can have both. You know, that would be what dreams are made of.
Yeah. I mean, that's the, what is it, babes? Like you said, it's a perfect episode.
It is. It really is.
So good.
Yes.
All right. Until next time, Taylor, where can everyone keep up with you and where can they find the poll?
Yes, you can find me and the poll on Twitter at alphabet_, and you can also find me on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_.
Amazing. I am Yael Tygiel. I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That is YAELTYGIEL. I'm going to tell you all right now a big secret. My birthday's on Wednesday. So please check me out on social media and wish me a happy birthday, because otherwise that's rude.
Period. Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We will see you next week for a new episode of S Review. Bye.